I'm going to be doing a series of reviews on the new Niner BSB 9 RDO. This is their new carbon cyclocross bike, and this is their second cyclocross bike they've made. The first one was the RLT, which stood for Road Less Traveled, and that one they used what they called their fire road geometry, which had slightly longer chain stays, a little bit slacker head angle, and a little bit lower bottom bracket. This one is designed more for cyclocross racing. And this video I'm going to call the first look, because I'm not going to go into a deep review of this as I've just gotten the bike and got it built up, and I've only put in one ride. So I kind of just wanted to do a first look overview of the bike and then follow this up in a little bit with a more in-depth review. This particular one is the 5-star build, which is their top of the line. And originally I had intended to get the 4-star build, but Shimano was really back ordered on their mechanical shifters. They had hydraulic brakes, but the mechanical shifters and derailleurs were back ordered, which I think it had to do actually with the lever, which again was a hydraulic disc brake but mechanical shifter. This one is the Di2. And so I was able to get a decent team discount, which helped me go up to the full 5-star build. What's nice about these is whether you get a frame only or whatever build kit you get, it's the same frame. It's the carbon Niner frame. And I was really happy to see Niner come out with cyclocross bikes. My first cyclocross bike was a Giant TCX, which I got a few years ago, and really fell in love with the sport of cyclocross. Not only the racing, but also the training, just going out on dirt roads, which is the majority of what I use this bike. I do race it in cyclocross. But Niner really knows their geometry with mountain bikes. I've owned 4 different models of Niner mountain bikes over the years, and really like the geometry. So again, I was happy to see them come out with their models of cyclocross bikes. And I will comment that I built this one up myself, and I like doing that because it helps me really know the bike, and this is my first time ever using Di2. And when you get a Niner bike, for those of you who do like to build your bike up, they don't come partially assembled as most bike companies do. You get a frame, a fork, even the fork steer tube is not cut when you pull it out of the box. You've got to put everything together as if you ordered everything separately. So it takes more time and more mechanical skills, but it does help you to really just fine-tune the bike exactly the way you want it, and really helps you know the bike, so if you have a mechanical or something on a trip or at a race venue, you know how to fix it. I had mentioned that I got the 5-star build. The only thing that I did that's different than the build is I actually got a set of Grail no tube wheels for this, mainly because I wanted to offset the cost of the bike. They come with the Niner carbon wheels, which is a very nice wheel set, but I wanted to go with the stands again, mainly just to offset the cost of the bike. Also, because of the area that I ride, again a lot of dirt roads, I got a different set of tires. They come spec'd with the Schwalbe, I think they're the Racing Ralphs. I use these Clements, the LAS, which are really good tires on dirt roads. They say they're 33s, but they actually measure a little bit wider than that. These are a standard clincher tire, and it was kind of a little bit of a hassle to get these to actually mount up tubeless. I had to put a tube in, get one of the beads to seat inside the channel of the rim. But again, really good tires. I'll go over some of the specs that this bike comes with. First, it comes with a carbon Thompson handlebar. It comes with Niner's own aluminum stem, which I believe is a 90mm, which is a really nice length for cyclocross. The brake rotors are 160, and I'm glad Niner spec'd a 160 for this bike instead of 140s. A lot of the hydraulic road stuff and cyclocross bikes coming out today use 140 rotors. These are 160, both front and back. And that's nice because it gives you a lot of stopping power, and you don't have to squeeze quite as hard on the brake levers, which after a long cyclocross race is kind of nice because you're braking a lot in cyclocross races. And it also gives you a lot of power on braking if you're doing some dirt road stuff, some gravel grinders up in the mountains. So that was one of my main requirements for a new cyclocross bike, is I wanted to have hydraulic disc brakes. I also wanted to have 2 water bottle holders. My previous bike only had 1. It's really nice to not have to wear a camelback on 2-hour rides on dirt roads. The build kit comes with an Ultegra crank, and this is a 46-36 tooth crank set, which the big ring is a little bit smaller than what you would get on a standard road bike, which again is nice for cyclocross, since you're not carrying quite as fast speeds as you would on a road bike. Ultegra Di2 front derailleur, Ultegra Di2 rear derailleur. The battery is actually a seat post battery, which is nice. The battery's up inside the seat post. And all the cables run really, really nice on this bike. You can run mechanical or Di2 very easily on this. So the cables run inside the frame. They go in the frame here. And Di2, you only have one cable going inside the frame. The other one, Niner puts in some different covers and plugs and things like that. So I plugged the other side. I ran the Di2 cable on the right side. Again, going all inside the frame. So the junction box, battery cable, everything is tucked nicely inside the frame. And I will do another video that kind of goes over Di2. Again, this is my first Di2, so I want to kind of give some thoughts out there, because I looked for videos and things like that, just kind of giving me a more in-depth review of what Di2 is, how does it go together, that kind of thing. So I'll do a video separate about that, and maybe even a full review of Di2 after I've used it for a while. It does come with a Niner carbon seat post, and I've used one of these on a hardtail before and really liked it. They call it an unstiff layup, which allows the seat post to flex, which gives a little bit of suspension feel. Now, on my hardtail, I had a lot more seat posts sticking out of the frame. Since this is a little bit more of a flatter top tube, being a cyclocross bike, so you can get your shoulder underneath it for carrying the bike. I'm not sure how much flex this is going to have, because you do have to have some sticking out of the frame. But it is a really light seat post, and again offers a little bit of flex and suspension as you're riding the bike. The saddle's nice. I haven't put in a long ride on this, so I can't comment on the comfort of the saddle, but they spec this really sleek looking saddle, and so far it's pretty comfortable. I've only put in an hour ride on it, and it was comfortable. Niner makes some really sweet forks, and this one of course comes with their carbon fork. It's really nice that it comes with a 15 QR in the front to increase the stiffness of the fork. And the back is a standard 135 by 12 quick release. So that's going to wrap up my first look of the Niner BSB 9 RDO. Stay tuned to my channel for a more in-depth review, like I said, that I'll do after I put in at least a month or 2 of riding and probably a few cyclocross races on this bike. I will give a little bit of a teaser and say that the bike is very, very smooth on dirt roads. We have a lot of washboards, and I did do a few Strava segments on dirt roads and actually beat one of my times by quite a bit on about a 7-minute segment. I think I was about 18 to 20 seconds faster on this bike than my giant TCX. So this is probably going to prove a very fast bike. So again, stay tuned for a more in-depth review coming up. Thanks for watching.